My name is Morgan Juncal, and I am the owner-operator of Woodbooger Hollow Honey in Maryville, Tennessee. I've been beekeeping since 2019, right before the COVID pandemic started, and with an interest of bringing pollinators to my garden. I grew up landscaping, and I have a background in horticulture, and when I moved to my area, I didn't see any pollinators the whole first spring that I lived here. And so just in an interest in bringing pollinators to my garden, I started researching beekeeping, and then very shortly after, dived right in. I currently have 25. I'm looking to expand to 35 hives this year. So for me, the Hoover Hives were a no-brainer when it came to quality, appearance, ease of assembly, ease of ordering. I've had good customer service through Galena Farms with Hoover Hives. They look great, they smell great, they go together super easy, and I'm overall very pleased with the quality of the hives. Swarm trapping and honeybee nutrition are the two things that I'm the most passionate about as far as relaying information to aspiring beekeepers or even beekeepers that have been keeping for a few years but are looking to expand their knowledge. So right now, all of my colonies overwintered, and they are ramping up production and populations. So I'm getting into my hives, I'm making splits, and we are preparing for the imminent swarm season, and which I'm also a swarm collector. I remove swarms, low-hanging fruit from branches in people's yards, and I do cutouts as well. So to prepare for swarm season, importantly, you want to be doing inspections in your hives. Every 7 to 10 days is recommended. You're looking for high drone population. You're looking for the start of queen cells, especially loaded queen or charged queen cells that have larvae and royal jelly. You're looking for walking drones on your frames. Walking drones are a good indicator that the timing is going to be correct. For mating age drones, you're going to be looking for all of those things in your hives, and the best recommendation I can make as far as equipment is to stay ahead of what you think you're going to need for your season. It's always advisable to have more equipment on hand than what you think you need, because you never know what can happen during a swarm season. So one thing that's super important is to get ahead of the swarming behavior, but if you're too late to miss that, you can certainly employ swarm traps. So when it comes to catching swarms, you want to make sure that your swarm trap is baited, at least with one frame of drawn comb, maybe several other frames that have some comb drawn or brand new frames. You can also use a swarm attractant or a swarm lure. There's various brands such as Swarm Commander or Swarm Rustler. You can also use lemongrass essential oil, but you want to be careful not to overbait your hives. Bees are very sensitive to smell, and so you're only going to be baiting those hives once every 2 to 3 weeks. And to do so, you can just saturate a Q-tip with some of your attractant, and you can put it in a Ziploc bag, and you can bait your trap with that. And then once you've caught a swarm, you want to make sure that the bees are going to stay. And so an indicator of that is they're going to be bringing in pollen. If you need to move the swarm right away, however, you can do so. You just need to make sure that when you're moving your bees and you relocate them into your hives, you put some sort of obstruction in front of the entrance that causes the foragers to reorient to their new location. For those beekeepers that are in the northern states who are not yet experiencing spring as it moves up from the south, this time of year is incredibly pivotal, and you need to be monitoring your colonies for starvation. The supplemental feeding that you can offer your bees is going to consist of fondant or pollen patties. I actually even follow Katerina DeWitt's recommendation of feeding bees bananas for spring buildup. So if that is something that you're interested in learning more about, you can certainly check out her publication. So my advice to beekeepers entering their first season through their third or maybe even their fourth season is to be prepared for what you're not expecting. You need to have more equipment than what you think you need. Bees are going to do what bees are going to do. That was the first thing my mentor ever taught me about beekeeping. So expect losses, expect wins, and expect the unexpected. You need to make sure that you have a clear goal in mind as far as your beekeeping journey, and try to decide early on how many hives you think you want to have. I recommend growing slowly and putting in the work and putting in the steps to get where you want to be. You don't want to expand too quickly, but you need to have a goal of what you want to achieve. And so for some people, that might only be 2 hives in the backyard. And for others, that's a full sideline business with over 30 to 50 hives. Anyone can be successful. You just have to have that goal in mind, and you need to plan for eventualities and think outside the box. Just remember too, beekeeping is a little bit skill, a little bit knowledge, a little bit luck. And on that note, good luck in your future beekeeping endeavors.